What's going on, guys? Dr.MooMoo here, and welcome back to the lab. But today we will be observing Secret Invasion to determine its quality. Secret Invasion is Marvel's latest attempt at trying to make a good show. Their track records on show is not very good. Of the 8 past ones, I would only call 2 good. There's also one good episode of What If that is really good, but not the show as the whole. When Secret Invasion was first revealed, and really up until its release, I had pretty high hopes for it. The idea of wondering who you could trust could work really well in a Fury-centric thriller show. So, did it live up to the hype? No, not at all. I hadn't fully given up by the first episode. After all, Andor's first episode wasn't terrific, and people were calling this Marvel's Andor, or rather hoping it was. But by the second episode, this was clearly not going to be their Andor, because this was going to be pretty mediocre, or maybe overall just bad. Instead of being about who you can really trust, it's basically just 6 episodes of trying to figure out how to stop an already known threat to Fury. The invasion isn't really a secret when our protagonist essentially knows the plan from the start. There's really only one tryst scroll, and it's probably the worst possible thing you could have chosen to do. But more on that later. Anyway, Fury and the Skrull leader guy from Captain Marvel team up to stop a group of evil Skrulls who have next to no character, but have decided that they should seduce the humans into killing each other so they can take over the world for themselves because they need a new home. I guess the evil Skrull gang thought a war would not end up destroying the entire planet, which it probably would have, and would allow for an easy takeover, which makes absolutely no sense, but whatever. In the first episode, they kill off Maria Hill. This is a character that has been in the MCU for a long time, and the fact that I literally did not care at all probably shows the terrible shape of this show and the MCU as a whole. I mean, Coulson died early on in the MCU, but his death was impactful and is what finally brought the Avengers together as a team. Even with his little screen time, you actually cared about his death. Maria Hill only dies because this show needed a good, shocking end to episode 1. That would get everyone on Twitter talking. And that makes her death pretty pointless and not sad at all. And guess what? Nobody on Twitter was talking about this. Because guess what? Nobody watched this except me. Anyway, I can remember next to nothing about episodes 2 to 5, probably because nothing of value happens in these. Or maybe I wasn't paying attention because I was so bored. I don't care. The Skrull leader guy ends up dying, and then there's his daughter who was looking for the bad guys but betrays the bad guys. And the bad guys, they have next to no character, so that's really cool. These are all really cool things that happen. I should note that all the actors really seem to try with what they are given script-wise, but that isn't much that they are given. But my boy Don Cheadle did do very good. Give praise to my boy Don Cheadle. This movie also has no effect on the MCU as a whole. I guess other shows like Moon Knight didn't really either, but this show's marketing made it feel like it would matter and that it was going to be a really big deal, but it wasn't. Plus, Moon Knight gets a pass because it's actually good. Anyway, then comes the finale, and oh boy, is it probably the worst MCU episode to date. Remember in She-Hulk, the hit TV series, when Mrs. She-Hulk breaks the fourth wall when the finale starts getting a bit too crazy to explain to Kevin Feige, the creator of the MCU, that the finale is dog ass and makes no sense and feels rushed and like it's just trying to appease the fans? Well, guess what? That finale's commentary on superhero finales apparently meant nothing to anybody because Secret Invasion's finale does everything She-Hulk made fun of. The main bad Skrull, which is his official name, gets all the powers of every superpowered person in the MCU, but so does the good guy Skrull girl, so they fight. Oh, and look at all these fun references in the fight to all the other heroes in this wonderful universe. Look at this totally great CGI that's going on also, that some poor artist was definitely not rushed to make. Look, she turned into Mantis's head. Isn't that so cool? Please explain how cool all of this is on twitter.com. Don't we just love fans by putting all this fan service that is totally worthless to everything in the show and everything in the MCU as a whole? Anyway, the good Skrull girl was, and now is, the most powerful person in all of the MCU, but will never come up again in any other project until maybe an Avengers movie. Hey, remember when I said that thing about not paying their CGI artist earlier? Well, guess what? The intro to this show uses AI art. That's right, the thing that steals from actual artists to make pretty ugly art. They said they did this to give the intro an eerie, non-human feeling. But newsflash, an actual human could have done that, probably even better. But big companies like Disney don't care about that at all. Those mere peasant artists who just want a livable wage mean nothing to them. This helps Bob Iger get a new beach house, and that's what really matters, giving rich people more money. The rich and talentless making an enormous amount of bank on other people's talent. Fuck CEOs who don't pay people properly. All my homies hate CEOs who don't pay people properly. Anyway, that big scroll reveal, that I talked about earlier, let's talk about that next. This is what you wanted, wondering who you can trust, right? Well, guess what? They reveal that Rhodey, yes, Don Cheadle himself, is a Skrull. That's right, everyone's favorite character has been a Skrull this whole time. But don't worry, the real one gets out of Inception or whatever in the end, so everything's fine. As you said, nothing in this show affects anything, right? Well, sort of. They don't outright say this, but based on clues, Don Cheadle has likely been a Skrull since his crash in Civil War. That's right, all the character development and emotional moments he had in Infinity War and Endgame, and didn't have in Falcon and Bucky Barnes and Noble or whatever that show's called, were all fake. Because that wasn't him. That was an evil Skrull. But this is what I wanted, right? This should have mattered to the overall MCU. I got what I wanted. Yeah, it is what I wanted, but I wanted that impact to be positive. But this negatively impacts War Machine's character as well as some past scenes in movies. All for pointless shock value. A pointless show that does more harm than good. I should give this show a 1 out of 10 for the AI thing alone, but I'm nice like that. Secret Invasion gets a 4 out of 10, but only because they didn't kill off the white guy from Black Panther. Truly a fan favorite character. Thanks for watching.